Phoenix, Arizona, March 29. Relief pitcher Adam Ottavino. Photo by Christian Petersen. Getty Images. Those terms should look awfully familiar to Colorado Rockies fans. Both Bryan and Jake McGee received contracts last offseason identical to what New York gave Adam Ottavino. At face value, it theoretically should have been doable for the Rockies front office to bring Otto back. With more than $100 million currently committed to Shaw, McGee and closer Wade Davis, and taking into account the fact that we still don't know what's going to happen with Nolan Arenado, though, the Rockies apparently balked at dishing out a third $27 million deal to a reliever over 30 years old. The Denver Post's Patrick Saunders later reported that the Rockies never gave Ottavino an offer. Ottavino bolsters an already terrifying New York bullpen, as he'll be joining the likes of Dellin Betances, Aroldis Chapman and Zach Britton, among others. Name a stat, and they'll probably be in the top 10, if not top 5, in baseball. Yankees relievers compiled a 3.38 ERA in 594.2 innings, which was the fourth best mark in baseball, behind the Houston Astros, Chicago Cubs and Oakland Athletics. By F.WAR, there was no bullpen more valuable than the Yankees' mark of 9.7, a full win better than the second-best Padres' 8.7. Fangraphs also records an advanced stat called ERA. What ERA does is tell you how much better a pitcher or a pitching staff pitched relative to league average. It's essentially park-adjusted ERA on a scale where 100 is league average, and every point below that is 1% better than league average. The Yankees were owners of the second-best ERA by relievers with a mark of 78, trailing the Astros 74, so that means that their bullpen was 22% better than the average bullpen. They struck out 753 hitters, good for second most in baseball, and had a whip of 1.21, which trailed only Houston, 1.06, Oakland, 1.18, and San Diego, 1.19. It's not surprising Ottavino was excited to join them, as well as former Colorado teammates DJ LeMahieu and Troy Tulowitzki. Adam Ottavino father John, when he called me 2 nights ago and told me, he had the sound of happiness in his voice I haven't heard in a very long time. He could not possibly be happier. Brazil, January 17, 2019. What is Ottavino bringing to the Bronx? A career-best 2.43 ERA and 77.2 IP in 2018 with 112 strikeouts, a 0.991 whip, and an ERA of 193. ERA is similar to ERA, because it's also on the same scale where 100 is league average. According to a post by Beyond the Box Scores Brian Grosnick, where ERA differs is it tells you how much better or worse the league was than that pitcher, instead of telling you how much better or worse the pitcher was than the league. Because Ottavino's ERA was 193, that means the league average ERA was 93% higher than Ottavino's. Next, so where does this leave the Rockies? Page 2 San Diego, California, September 2, Scott Oberg. Photo by Dennis Poroy, Getty Images. Where does this leave the Rockies? They're losing their dominant eighth-inning setup man, but as Alexander Graham Bell said, when one door closes, another one opens. Enter Scott Oberg. Oberg emerged as one of the top arms in the Rockies bullpen in 2018. After an underwhelming first 3 years in Colorado when he couldn't get his ERA under 4.94, Oberg broke out in a big way. He appeared in 56 games and pitched 58.2 innings, with a 2.45 ERA that was just a hair higher than Ottavino's 2.43. Oberg's ERA was 192, again just below Ottavino's 193. His 0.989 whip ended up being better than Ottavino's 0.991. Finally, Oberg's 1.3 F.WAR was, you guessed it, second best of the 2018 Rockies bullpen, behind Ottavino's 2.0. He was also the one to whom Bud Black went to close out the National League wildcard game in the 13th inning, when he pitched an inning and a third and struck out all 4 Cubs he faced. Remember who they were: Chris Bryant, Terrence Gore, Javier Baez and Albert Almora Jr. Oberg is most likely the favorite to take over for Ottavino in the 8th inning, but the Rockies' options don't stop there. .2018 trade deadline acquisition Sung Wen-oh could also fill that gap if needed. Last season, Oh appeared in the 7th inning 27 times, and the 8th inning 30 times, which was the most of any one inning he pitched. As he was called in South Korea and Japan, the final boss has experience in high-leverage situations. He didn't have as spectacular of a 2018 season as Oberg did, but he still pitched very well. Oh finished with a 2.63 ERA and a 1.01 WHIP in 68.1 innings, as well as an ERA of 188. He struck out 79 hitters between his time in Toronto and Colorado, against just 17 walks. Next, similarities between the 2019 Rockies and 2018 Red Sox. The Rockies will certainly feel the loss of Ottavino, but assuming the guys they still have can embrace the next man up mentality, they should be able to carry on without him well.